Hey everyone, Crafty Chic Sherry here with another Mecca lesson. So, if you're a student leader, you're a student organization advisor, you're a supervisor, then it's probably safe to say that in your job, part of your responsibilities is to help to get your team to know each other. Getting them to know each other is typically how we progress through team development. And if you know anything about the team development stages, you know that Bruce Tuckman's first stage is forming, okay? So we're not going to talk about that. You can Google Bruce Tuckman and the stages of the team development. But in this forming stage, you will facilitate / encourage a lot of icebreakers and team builders. And so the things that I found in this video are cool finds at the Dollar Tree that I think you might want to consider purchasing, and they're only out right now because a lot of them are summer items, so you might want to grab them now so you can be ready for the fall. But these are cool items to pick up and have in your team building toolkit. So first up are these dry erase foam dice. These are cool because you can literally write whatever you want on them. So you could write questions on them, have somebody roll and then answer the question, or you could write numbers on them and have those numbers correspond with a specific task or a specific question, etc. These baseball bases, I believe, really can help out some team building activities. You can use these to hold places in team circle games such as When the Wind Blows or All My Neighbors. This way people don't have to take off a shoe and they'll know exactly where they can go. These 2-minute timers, pretty self-explanatory, but you can use them to time activities. So if you're like, I'm gonna make up my own game or my own activity and I want them to be able to accomplish something in 2 minutes, perfect timer for you to use for such an activity. These buckets are probably my favorite find. You can use them for a toss game. You could remove the handles and add some string and use it in some type of a relay where they have to use the strings to carry an item from one place to another. Or my favorite thing to do with these buckets is to actually do a staff development around the book, How Full Is Your Bucket, and potentially use these to have team members add notes and words of affirmation to actually fill up a staff member's bucket. These dry erase paddles I think are also pretty cool for team activities. So if you're doing something where you want teams to submit an answer, or if you want them to hold up something to show when the task is finished, or you can actually use it to walk around and show how much time is left for a particular activity. These foam dice actually have the numbers already printed on them, and so you could use these to see what team goes first or which person goes first on a team. You could also assign numbers to questions and they roll it, and whatever question they get, that's the question that they have to answer. Playing cards, they're so versatile. So you could use playing cards to sort groups into smaller teams. You can, pass them out and put all the aces together, all the twos together, all the threes together, etc. You can use them you can assign a movement to a specific card, and then you pull a card and tell the team that they have to do that movement. And the faster you pull the cards, the crazier it goes. You can use the cards to indicate the number of steps or spaces a team member needs to go, or to play Mafia or Spoons. Also rope, super versatile. You could use rope to make a line on the ground, or build some type of boundaries and say this activity needs to take place within this space. My favorite thing to do would be to make a circle with the rope and tie a knot, and then you pass the rope between the team members' hands and the facilitator yells stop, and when they yell stop, whoever has the knot in front of them will either answer a question or could ask a question of the team. You could also use it to do like blindfolded shapes. These left, center, right game dice I think are pretty cool. I think you can use you can roll them and use them to help give direction in a particular activity on which way like a team member can actually move. So I thought this head case game was cool because you could use it to play reverse charades. You could put a card on someone's head, and then the team member has to do things to help them guess what it is through their actions. You could also use it for like the famous pairs or the famous duo games instead of trying to put masking tape on a forehead. These foam counting blocks, I think they could be used to like build structures, or I think you could throw them on the floor in a small area to maybe recreate a little minefield. I also think instead of M&Ms or Skittles, if you wanted to do that like game where you different colors correspond with different questions, I think you could use these. And then last but not least, I found these cones and they're huge, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is a Dollar Tree? But these can obviously be used to mark boundaries, but I also think if you flip them upside down, you could potentially use them in some type of a relay to move an item from one place to another. I would encourage you to leave comments below if you have any additional things that you've seen in your Dollar Tree. Also, if you have any additional ideas on how to use the items that I picked out, let's start a conversation. Let's start a conversation about it.